Yes, good evening and welcome to Pitch Points. Today we're going to talk very quickly about the Premier League game between Man City and Everton, or Everton and Man City. And I have with me on the show today a very good friend of mine, an Everton fan, somebody I respect and who's knowledgeable, smart, all the way from England. Carl?
Hello, mate. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me on again.
Fantastic. Good to have you on. And we talked yesterday about the Champions League preview. I really enjoyed you coming on. The lads over here in the US were really happy to have you on. They thought you brought a lot of insight, a lot of analysis. It was great to hear your voice too. And so it was really good to have you on. Thanks for coming on again, buddy.
It's always a pleasure, mate. I guess I was right with Mbappe as well.
Yeah, let's talk about what we saw today. We saw the PSG game. I saw the PSG game and the Barcelona game, and I saw the Leipzig and the Liverpool game. Let's start with the Leipzig and Liverpool game. I thought that was a game of two mistakes, really. Horrible mistakes. What did you think?
But I thought Liverpool deserved the win. I thought they played the better attacking football throughout the game, but I think me and you said it, didn't we, that it's all down to the fullbacks, and I think they were so exposed in the first 10 minutes that they could have easily went 2-3-0 up in the first 10 minutes, Leipzig. But they just didn't have that clinical finisher. You can tell they're missing Werner a little bit. I know he's not like setting the world like at Chelsea, but you can tell they are missing him. And I think Poulsen or Nkunku, the ones to do the job, not traditional number nines. But it was a good game of football. But again, two errors. I've been raging on about Upamecano. He's just not that centre. He's not a good at it. I don't think he's a world class centre back, and I don't see how people can say he's a world class centre back. And I thought Sabitz's mistake was absolutely embarrassing. Awful from Sabitzer, awful from Leipzig, to be honest.
Well, I think Upamecano has the raw material. He's raw. I think he has the talent to be good. But he was basically carrying the whole back line today because they were awful. They were just awful. They were dragged out of position. They played a high line. They couldn't track back. The second goal was just dreadful. The guy tried to kick the ball and fell, and then Mane was in. It was just dreadful. We got a few chats here. Hi, Charlie. Welcome to the show. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks. He says, don't know if you saw him. Yeah, guys, I saw that today, that he's back in the squad, traveling to Everton. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think DCL is also out, Carl, correct?
Yeah, he's out. Back on Sunday.
Back on Sunday. The more important match on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, great to have you on, buddy. A couple of things I think I mentioned to you that I do have a soft spot for Everton. And then I'll tell you the three reasons why I like Everton. I like Everton because I remember a long way back, I think it was 1995, FA Cup final, Amokachi. Remember Amokachi?
Yeah.
Daniel Amokachi? I don't know if you remember. Maybe, yeah. He somebody I really enjoy because he's Nigerian and that's where I'm originally from. And I just loved the fact, and I think he scored the goal in the FA Cup final versus United. I think it was 1-0. I just fell in love with I had a soft spot for Everton in that game. That's one reason. The other reason I like Everton is Carlo. I really rate Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah.
I think he's a brilliant manager. I remember the news when he joined Everton last year. I think it was last year, right?
2019, December 2019.
Yeah. And the whole media was about, he's going to leave. He's not there. He's not the right manager. He's too big for Everton. And I was backing Everton saying, no, if Everton have the investors, which they do, the owners who are ambitious, they show ambition by going after such a world-class manager, right? And they're going to build upon that. You have a new stadium coming up. I really respect a club that, the media darlings don't particularly like, right? I like such clubs, which is one reason why I backed City all the way back then. I think the only way is up for you guys. You have a great manager, some great players who are there, need a few more additions, and you can push to be consistently within the top four and at least minimum the top six. So that's the second reason why I like Everton. And the third reason I like Everton is because you hate Liverpool, which, so those are the three things. Hi, Addy. Good to see you. Charlie says, I wonder if Everton need full disclosure why City. We'll talk about that. But those are the three reasons why I like Everton. And the fact that they wear blue as well. So really like that.
Yeah.
But what's you, Carl? This whole game was postponed because of the COVID breakout. And there was a whole furore about it, right? Media hype about it. What exactly happened, and why did it create such a storm?
I think it was because we came out after the game, once the game was postponed, we wanted full disclosure why the game was postponed. Obviously, it was down to COVID-19. I think it was because we were in good form going up to that, and I think a lot of fans felt confident we might have got something, because I don't think you were in the pace. I think you had a few draws leading up to that. I think it's West Brom as well. So I think Everton fans would have felt that confident. But for me, it's always been, at the end of the day, it's more important how City, it's more important the players. If the players are safe, can play. And it's that. But I don't want to go out and play youngsters. No offense to your youngsters. I want to play your starting 11, because if we beat your youngsters, there's so many excuses. We go out and beat your starting 11. Not like I think we would have, but if we did, and it's like, well, we just beat the best team in the world. So it is one of them, isn't it? Where, you want to beat the best team, and yeah, it was down to COVID-19, sadly, but it happened, and obviously I don't think we reacted in the best way, but I don't think anyone did, and I think the media blew it way too. The media just blew it up, didn't they, and made a bit of a rivalry between two fan bases that usually get on, and there was just no need for it. But it seems recently that things have calmed down again, which I'm happy to see.
Yeah, I think Carlo's response in the news conference, which I watch all these news conferences. I think he's a fantastic man. I like his eyebrow too, so it's just I like the man. So the way he spoke in his news conference was really good. I thought it just kind of calmed things down. It just showed the mutual respect he has for Guardiola. And let's not forget, Ancelotti has won everything.
Also, he said it the other day. He said about Klopp's mother, who sadly passed away, but he said football is the most important thing, or the less important things in your life.
Yeah.
So I think that it's so, and I think for us, obviously, but I don't know what. I'd rather have City players safe and players safe and people's lives safe than just risking it for a game of football that, let's be honest, at the end of the day means nothing when it comes to people's lives who are parents and got children. And I think it was the best decision was talking the right decision, to be honest.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Addy says Everton and City are the only two teams this season who haven't played each other, so who knows how to turn out. I agree. Who knows how it's going to turn out, which is what makes it exciting. He says also Carl's ability to understand Carl's accent is relative. Americans everywhere. Yeah, I think I've listened to Carl so much that it's just ingrained in me now. So I really enjoy that. Yeah, Ancelotti, I absolutely love him. I do. I just respect him. When you guys made that move for Ancelotti, I really said, well, Everton are serious about this. Because I remember the game he played when he was at
Napoli.
Napoli. It was Napoli, and he played Liverpool. Oh my! It was beautiful to watch the way they
absolutely played them off the park.
Oh goodness, some of the best football I've seen. Just the passing and the moving, and that's what I enjoy. See, I'm a football fan. I support City, but I like a good football game. Ever since I was a kid, I follow the.
That's why I love Atalanta so much.
So for me, it's about the game and the enjoyment of the game. I coach as well, so it's about enjoyment of the game and learning from the game. So it's not about partisanship or, hit this club or that club, except for one or two. But it's about getting other fans' perspective as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Everton seemed to have a really good record against the Big Six this season, Carl. I mean, is that your impression too?
Yeah, but I think when you look at our record against the Big Six, by Liverpool and Tottenham in the first few games of the season, it's always been we look to be in a bit of a bad form against the so-called Big Six. I mean, we're in a bad form leading up to them games, and then we have to show up and get the 3 points when we do. We've beat Leicester. We took 4 points from Leicester, which we know isn't easy. They battered you at the Etihad. I know you didn't have the right team, but they still done it, so it's still impressive, even though it was 3 penalties to go there and win 5-2. Is a great result. They battered Liverpool. They gave you a good game against United. So they had a good team. We lost to United twice, but Bruno Fernandes both times, and I've said this. He's for me, he's one of the best players in the Prem. Nowhere near to De Bruyne. I think that's crazy talk to compare someone who's only been in the Prem for 16, 17 months, or even that, to someone of the quality of Kevin De Bruyne. We took a point off them the other day in the last second. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a class finish.
I saw that. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that tremendously.
We played Chelsea and beat them 1-0. We beat, who else have we beat in the top six? We beat Tottenham twice.
Tottenham.
We beat them in the league 1-0, and then we beat them the other day 5-4 in that absolute great game. And also, I don't like putting Arsenal in there because I don't think they've done enough of the last few years to be considered in there. But we'll put Arsenal in there just to make us sound better, because we beat
No,
them as well.
but this is my point. That's why I had this on the list of things I thought about. That said, Everton have done well against the big sides. You have done well against the big sides.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a bit reminiscent to the Liverpool side a few years ago. Do you know, it's in like 2017 Klopp side, where you'd go away and they'd beat all the big teams. I think they beat you 3-1. When you had in Pep's first year, they beat Chelsea, they beat a lot of big teams. But then when they came against the Brighton, no offense to Brighton's, Burnleys, but we've lost to Newcastle, we've lost to Newcastle, West Ham, we've lost to some bad teams that on paper we should really be beaten. But it all comes down to that gelling and consistency and the mentality, which will build over a few years once you get that. With Carlo, it will build. It's just a transition,
I think he had the right managers to do so. He's been there. He's done it at Real Madrid, done it at Bayern Munich, done it at Napoli. And he played for AC Milan, I believe. So he's done it. He's won it and he's done it.
Exactly.
Adi has a comment here. I wonder if it's about squad depth more with Everton. When you take DCL, Richarlison out of the Everton team, they seem to really struggle to me. What does Cal think?
Well, I think that, to the Richarlison point, Carl, I love Richarlison. I really do. I've always said he's up there with Gabriel Jesus, but which is crazy talk, but I think what he's done the last 2 years in a very boring Everton system under Marco Silva, who was a nice guy, but didn't really work in a very aggressive system. He did well. He scored 30 goals in 2 seasons. And this season, we thought he was going to kick on with James. He hasn't really done it, so I don't think whether Richarlison in the squad or not doesn't really struggle for us. I don't think he's been good enough this year, but DCL's the one for me. It's 20 goals in 27 games for club and country this season, which is, when you think of it like that, for someone who was only scoring 6 goals a season before Carlo came, is absolutely exceptional. He scored 35 goals under Carlo Ancelotti.
Incredible. This is what I think. I heard a quote once when Carlo talked about DCL being like Inzaghi, right? That smell of goal, that finishing. He's done really well under Ancelotti. He's becoming a really top striker.
For me, the player that's the most important in our system is Alan. Alan reminds me, not of the quality, but a bit like Fernandinho for City. The way he breaks the play up, he's always looking to move the ball forward, but still think defensively. And when we lose him, Doucouré is great, but Doucouré is a bit more attacking minded, isn't he? So we lose that one defensive break, that bulldog. Where on the other hand, you've got Tom Davies, who's all right, but he's not quality. Fabian Delph he's never fit. And for me, Andre Gomez isn't good enough, and Sigurdsson's not good enough. So.
I thought Sigurdsson did well later on in the game last week?
On Wednesday.
He did well after he came on for a while. It took a while to get him up to speed, but he...
I just don't think he's got the quality anymore. I think he was a great player, don't get me wrong, under Silva, because he was playing that number 10 role in a very high press system at times, but I think a number 10 in that kind of system a lot of the time doesn't have to really run. He's just got to control the ball and make a pass or a shot. And he was doing that really well. He got I think it was 13 goals and 6 assists under Marco Silva in his first year. Then last year he got 2 goals and 1 assist or something like that. And this year he's got his goals to assist ratio is pretty impressive. I think it's like 6 goal contributions this season, which is all right, but I don't think he's good enough. He goes missing too many times. His running stats are absolutely horrendous, and I just don't think he's good enough. And Carlo's, he's the captain. And as much as I love Carlo, that's the only thing I don't like about it. I don't understand how he's the captain, because he doesn't show effort and he doesn't show fight. And you need to show effort and fight against teams like, Newcastle, teams that are going to work hard and beat you off the ball and use the strength. You've got to work hard.
Yeah. Maybe Carlo's like Pep. He lets the players decide who the captain's going to be. The whole fight. 5 captains in a team.
To be honest,
mentality.
I doubt. I think if we were going to go down to players choosing the captain, I think it would be someone like Michael Keane. Someone who's, Michael Keane's been brilliant for us this season. Absolutely brilliant.
I think your stand-up player for me this season has been Digne on the left back. He's fantastic.
He's been injured. He's only played, I think, 14 games in the league and got 6 assists, which he's so creative. He's so brilliant going for. People question his defensive work, but it's good. It's what people always want. No one can be satisfied, can they? in football. Football fans can never be satisfied, unfortunately.
Never.
Diney's brilliant, mate. He's absolutely brilliant, and I say this all the time. He's absolute levels above Andrew Robertson. Absolute levels above Andy Robertson, and that's not even me being biased. I think most fans would agree. He's so good. He's so underrated by the media as well. And I don't want to go off topic, but Sky did a thing the other day, Soccer AM, about the best left backs in the league, the top 7, and he wasn't even in there. They have people like Aaron Cresswell and Luke Shaw above him.
Yeah, we know how that works out, and that doesn't surprise me anymore. It was the reason why David Silva never won the Player of the Year, or wasn't any player of the season team. So, but it is what it is. But let's talk about Everton's formation, and I was able to. I'm sharing out of the lineup you gave me. So the 4-2-3-1. You think that's what Carlo's going to do tomorrow?
Yeah, he plays that quite a lot, and I think that's our best formation. I think it utilises the players we've got as well. Because I think, against a team like City, you want to have as much defensive cover as possible because you're just so brilliant at, cutting the space. Where I think, you've got 4 attackers in a sense on the pitch for me, but Iwobi can also drop back in with Richarlison. I think I'll tell you why I picked this team as well. Not just off form, but just in general. I think we've got to go Olsen. I just don't think Pickford just makes too many mistakes. He's a good keeper. I think if you cut out the mistakes, then he would be a really good keeper. But you can't have them 3-4 mistakes. That will cost you the game. And then on the right, we've got Ben Godfrey, who's, for me, I don't know if you've watched a lot of him. He's been absolutely phenomenal. We got him from Norwich.
He's been great.
22 million. He can play left back, right back, centre back, in just in front of the defence as well. So he's proven that he's a very good player. And the centre back for me,
I remember Godfrey at Norwich, where he was there. He was fantastic. He's one of the 3 players I enjoyed. I enjoyed him, Godfrey. I enjoyed Pookie, and I enjoyed Cantwell. Yeah, those are the 3 players, and of course the goalkeeper. So the 4 players I really enjoyed at Norwich. So I wasn't surprised when Godfrey left to join a bigger club.
The 2 centre backs is Mina and Keane, because I think they're just our most consistent centre backs. I don't think for me, I like Holgate, but I think he's better on the right. But he's just not. He's just not as his football brain isn't as good as Godfrey's. And I think the 2 centre backs in a game like this, you've got to be physical, certainly very, very physical. And I think that we got the 2 most physical back line in our team. And I think on the left we got Digne. He's got to play. We don't really have another left back that can play. And the 2 defensive midfielders is Decore and Allen. We've missed Allen. Allen's not played since December against the Leicester game when we won't beat them at their ground 2-0. We scored 2. I think it was Holgate, funny enough, and Richarlison scored. And Allen was absolutely amazing, but he pulled his hamstring, but he's back. And Allen can break up that mid. I think it'll be a battle if he wins the midfield for me in this kind of game, because you have a brilliant midfield. But I think Allen can certainly prove that he's a bulldog. He's a classic Carlo Ancelotti defensive midfielder. Yeah, he had them with Gattuso. He had them with Gattuso at Milan. He had it with Casemiro, I think, at Khedira at Real Madrid. He had Allen at Napoli. So he's always got that bulldog in midfield. And Decore, he's one that can. Decore brings a bit of everything to his game.
Yeah, Decore reminds me of Yaya Toure. His runs, a younger Yaya Toure with the energy. He's got
pace, power.
Pace, power. It reminds me of that.
Everything. And also his passes to him and James. When him and James play, they got a connection, so that's good. And in the 3
let's talk about let's some comments real quick. Addy says that I'd rather have Digne over Robertson. Call me crazy. So yeah, he backs you.
Crazy though.
He says, I was going to say Ben Godfrey looks amazing, not just because he told Maguire to F off at the end of the United game. That's personality from Godfrey. Good on him. Charlie says, and Max Irons, that's why he left off the Bayern in the summer. That's from Norwich, I believe. Yeah,
I want him at Everton.
Yeah. It's a shame. So, yeah, go ahead with your front 4.
I know as a right winger, I want Iwobi, and I know a lot of people have their criticisms of Iwobi. His end product's not the best, but I think he's been one of our most improved players. He's had to play numerous positions this season. He's had to play as a right wing back, a left wing back, as a number 10, coming off the left, coming off the right. He can do really anything. He's a good player. He's just not of a top quality, and the money we paid for him was absolutely insane. But he's proven good, and I've been happy with him. Just needs to learn on his finishing. He's got a goal and 2 assists, I think. Yeah, so not that bad. If he sorts his end product, then he can be a good player. On the left, I've got Richarlison again. There's not much of us to pick, is there really? We haven't got. You can say Bernard, but I just don't think Bernard's good enough. And I think if you're going to trust, even if he's in bad form, you're always going to trust Richarlison. He's got the finish, and he scored Etihad last year. He always causes problems, and as the number 10.
Is James fit?
Yes.
Okay.
As the number 10, there's only one that I'm going to pick. And, for me, one of the most creative players I've ever seen at Everton in my lifetime. And James, he's absolutely brilliant. People have a go at his defensive work, but you know what you're getting. He's not there to defend. He's there to attack.
Remember, when he joined, I think you and I were talking on Twitter about. I backed him all the way. There was a lot of criticism about his form, about how he plays, the fact that he hasn't worked out at Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. I backed him all the way because I know this kid. Watched him rise at the World Cup in 2014 Brazil. I was there, and he's just a fantastic guy.
He's absolutely brilliant. It's 13 goal contributions he's got this season, which for someone who's supposed to be finished in the Prem's too quick for him, too strong for him, is absolutely phenomenal. You've just got to look what he did against Liverpool. He absolutely had them everywhere. Against he's shown up in the big games as well. He has defenders. Some of the times it takes 3-4 defenders just to try and get the ball off him. You know what I mean? He's absolutely brilliant. And up top, we've got the new man, Josh King. I would have DCL, but because of his injury, I don't really want to play him.
I like Josh King. I always rated him. One of the teams I loved watching was Bournemouth when under Eddie Howe, when you had Josh King, you had this beautiful player. What's his name? The Brooks, David Brooks. Absolutely love David Brooks. He's just so elegant on the ball. You had the guy from Newcastle. What's the he plays at Newcastle. Callum Wilson there as well. There's some really, really good players. Nathan Ake, some really good players. And Josh King is he's Norwegian, right?
Yeah, I think he's the exact kind of player you need in this kind of game. Someone who can get in behind them City defenders and cause you real problems. Also, we've got kind of a good advantage here. He hasn't really been playing for Bournemouth. He's been coming off he hasn't got a lot of minutes under his belt. If he's played 12 games, but he's been subbed on off. And he's same with us, but he didn't play Obviously, Covington was injured against Fulham and he played Richarlison up front. Yeah. Well, he played Sigurdsson up front with Richarlison coming off there, and it didn't work. It just did not work. And I think in these kinds of games, you need pace, you need power. And I think Josh King brings that. Josh King also can play off. Also, something that's good is King can go on the left and Richarlison can go up top. So we can alternate between the left and on the number 9, which is very good. And also, Josh King brings something new because you got to think I think Pep will have a game plan for most players, but for someone who hasn't played in the Prem all season, then I don't know if Pep will have a game plan how to stop him. But yeah, I'd love him to get a goal.
Let me ask you this. So you have a 4-2-3-1. I would have thought, knowing Carlo and then the Italian man that he is, he would try a 4-4-2, counter-attacking. So back 4, mid 4, and a front 2.
I think the problem is if he tries a 4-4-2, then we haven't really got the players to play that at the moment. Obviously, James can play on the right or on the left, and same with Iwobi. But I think when we played that last year, and I think we were losing out in the midfield battle too much because I think in them kind of formations, the amount of staff for the lowered squad we have is if the Corey comes off, then we've got an Andre Gomez who doesn't really do much. He's not really agile. He doesn't really have good balance. He can't move the ball as well as the Corey or Alan. He's not really as physical as them two. So you've got to have kind of everything for that. And we've got that in Alan and Corey, but I think defensively it kind of leaves you open a bit. And I think we don't want to be like that with Alan. And I think with Alan coming back, and I just think this formation suits us. We played it quite a lot this year. We played the 4-3-3 at the start.
Well, it's a conservative formation because you have you defend with a 4, you attack with a 4. You defend with a 6, attack with a 4. So if you think about the back 4 and the 2, I mean, the Corey can be the 8 that goes back and forth, but ultimately, defensive wise, you have a back 4 and a 2, so you defend with 6 and attack with 4. You can counter attack with that as well. So it's a safe. It's not defensive, but it's also kind of between the attacking and the defensive phase of the game.
Exactly.
Which I would see this as something that he would definitely do. This is good. This is good. It's a good formation. Let me share my thoughts on how I think we'll line up. And I see that Charlie Everett here. Charlie says he would have Edison, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, Zinchenko, Rodri, Bernardo, Foden, Sterling, Jesus, Mahrez. I can't see Foden in the midfield, but who will play there? Maybe start for KDB, but I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think KDB will start, but we don't know. But here's what I had in my formation. I'll talk you through. Well, no, I'll talk you through what I had. So what I've tried to do is think about City in terms of the average positions of the game that we play, based on this new system that Pep seems to play. And I told everyone this, and they're probably bored to death of me saying this. Pep seems to play this, 3-2-2, a 3-2-2-3. right? Average positions. So you almost have like a back four, but Cancelo is this inverted right back that tucks into midfield next to Rodri, right? And then the back three kind of stays. Either it's Laporte or Zinchenko, Diaz, and Stones. And Rodri's a holding midfielder. And then you have a mid two. Either it's Gundogan when he was fit, and Bernardo. Bernardo has a free role. Gundogan pushes more up front. Then you have a front three of Sterling, Jesus, and Varane. I think tomorrow, he's going to play this. I've always felt that this is probably, over the past couple of weeks, this is kind of the formation. The average formations that we've played, it's a 3, a 2 in front of them, and then the front three. Right? When we're in possession of the ball. When we lose possession of the ball, it becomes a 4 at the back, 4, and then a 2.
Yeah, I think the only good thing for us is I think Cancelo is great going forward. He's absolutely brilliant going forward. But we saw it against Liverpool, where I think in the first half, Cancelo couldn't really get his foot on the ball, and he couldn't. And even defensively, I thought he was a bit open in that first half. So I think if he's play that way, I don't think Pep will play that way. I think he'll play a lot like he did when he beat us 2-1 at the Etihad. But again, you're just so good, aren't you? Just...
Well, the issue I have is because Kevin De Bruyne is not there. That's why I'm playing Cancelo there instead of Kevin De Bruyne, because instead of Walker, because Cancelo gives you the opportunity to create chances through that right side, which Kevin likes to operate in. Kevin likes to operate on the right side. He combines with Bernardo or Varane or Mahrez on the right side. We don't have anyone who does that job as well as Cancelo when Kevin's not out. Now, if Kevin's available, he may play Walker as a right back, and then Cancelo steps out and rests. Right, or he may play Zinchenko at a left back, and then you have Zinchenko, Diaz, Stones, and Walker. So it's hard to pin down what Guardiola's ever going to do. But if I had my choice, I would stick with this formation of Laporte, Stones, and Diaz, the 3, and I would have Rodri and Cancelo again. Cancelo being the 4th, but he plays that inverted fullback in the middle sometimes, and on the right, Bernardo and Foden in the middle, right. Left-sided player next to Sterling on the left too for balance. Jesus through the middle. Then I would stick with Ferran Torres on the right instead of Mahrez because of the fact that Ferran is direct. He has what we call that verticality. He doesn't just run and then check back, run and check back. He's more vertical than Mahrez is. I would start with that as my formation. So it's a 3-2-2-3 or 4-3-3 in possession. That's kind of what I would do.
It's an absolutely crazy way, when you think of that, the fact that you even got the resources to even try something like that, for me, is absolutely insane. It's like, we were talking yesterday about Leipzig, funny enough, and I raised the point, and I said that Leipzig, in a way, can play a lot of different formations, and I think you can. You could possibly play a 3 at the back and then a 4 at the back, then maybe switch to a 5 at the back with maybe maybe Rodri slipping in to the defence, and then Laporte going into the left back, Cancelo into the right back. So there's so many good positions that you can play in formations, and the way you just pass the ball is so fluid. For me, it's the Johan Cruyff style of football that he played when he was at Barcelona, very fluent. It's total football, pure football. And it's so beautiful to watch. I just hope he's don't play that beautiful against us.
Well, the thing about this is the formation is, if you look very closely, what I've done is we attack with 5, defend with 5, right? So you have the 5 that are here, which are no more defensive. If you're Rodri, Cancelo, Laporte, Stones, and Diaz, or Zinchenko, right? So we attack with the 5 up front. So if you notice when we're attacking, look at the box in the final box. You normally see 5 players, 4 or 5 players there, and normally it's these 4 or 5. These positions, and then these guys are kind of dropping right behind. And then when we're defending, these are the 5 guys that we normally defend with, and everybody else drops back to help support. So it's a attack with 5, defend with 5, almost like a Leeds, but more controlled on and off the ball. Yeah. Let's see a few comments here. Charlie Everett says Laporte interesting. Yeah. I think that Zinchenko's played. He played against Tottenham. He played, I think, the week before. I think he may want to rest him for the Arsenal game. So I'm bringing in Laporte, Stones, and Diaz. He may change them halfway through, but who knows? It says Mahrez has a good record against Everton. Yeah, I mean,
he's only scored 1 goal for City past us.
Think about him. I like Mahrez, but think about him is he's somewhat predictable at times, right? I'm always, when he's on the ball and he's running down the right side, he check back in on his left foot. I'm like, take the man on, beat the man. If you can't beat him, he always seems to be predictable. So
he fears, doesn't he? he doesn't really like. You've got players, I mean, like for me, someone who's very good at it is Alan St. Maximin from Newcastle. Someone who's so good on the
He's
ball,
brilliant.
so skillful,
He's
and he
brilliant.
doesn't really scare. He doesn't get scared if he gets snapped because you expect it if you're a skillful player, don't you, to get brought down. But I think Mahrez, he fears getting tackled, doesn't he? He doesn't like getting physical. He's more of a, for me, I don't want to be, disrespectful, but he's more of a Liga, Serie A kind of player. Someone, I mean, I don't think he wants to play. I think he's a good player, and I don't know I just don't think he's good enough for City. And I think he goes missing, and I don't think he's going to have that. And I think that was one of the main reasons why he didn't win the league as well last year, is because he was playing as an inverted winger, and it just absolutely didn't work. And I think Pep likes him, but I just don't think it didn't work. And I think Pep's realised that he doesn't offer as much as Ferran Torres, Foden, Sterling, even Cancelo. He doesn't offer as much as the good players at City.
Yeah. Yeah. Adi says, just seeing how confusing that formation is, it reminds me of why I love Pep. Yeah. So Adi, what I did was I looked at the average formations during the game. So we started with a 4-3-3. What are the average positions that we play during the game? And what I found is it really is almost like a back three with the two Cancelo and Rodri inverting to help out, and he creates that path going through. Then Bernardo has a free role, but he's primarily on this side. Gundogan is probably on the left, and Sterling's on the left. Even I prefer him on the right.
Gundogan's not fit today for this game tomorrow, is he?
No, he's not fit today. He's not fit today.
That's a positive for the Toffees then, because he's been on absolute form, and I hate the way everyone's saying it's down to KDB being out. He's always been a good player. He's just always had to unlock it. You know what I mean? And he's unlocking it, and he's showing how good he is.
Absolutely.
And for me, I just don't see. I think you were right about KDB. For me, it'd be a bit silly to put him into this game where it's going to be high pace, definitely, and we're going to. You will have probably most of the ball, but we're going to be physical with you, aren't we? And it's not really smart to bring someone who's just been out for 3-4 weeks to bring him back into a physical game. When he's going to get kicked around by Alan and Decore. That's a fact. Alan will kick you about. He's that kind of player, and I don't like it, but you're probably going to be a few nasty ones in from Alan, because that's what he's like. He puts a few nasty tackles into you to your ankles to just slow you down. And I think just it wouldn't be playing him, but I think again, look at that midfield: Rodri, Bernardo, and Foden. I think it's always that question about him if he's good enough, but certainly the last few games he's showing his quality. Bernardo's absolutely brilliant to watch, and Foden, we know about him. For me, I think there's only one youngster close to him in the Prem, and that's that Bukayo Saka from Arsenal. But again, I still think Foden's levels above him. He's absolutely brilliant. And your front three is just, again, Jesus. I think he scored in the last, I think it's something like the last 5 Everton games. Against the last 5 games, he's got a goal or 2 against us. So, and you've got Sterling on the left, so again, he's a dangerous player. He's better on the right, he's still a dangerous player, regardless. He's a phenomenal player. And Torres, again, offers something different. But we were talking off air about Barca's system, where I can't remember if it was off air or now, again, about having Villa, Messi all alternating, and that's what you can do there. You've got the choice, because, Torres can play a bit into midfield as well, so you can move Bernardo there or Foden there. So there's so many options for City, which it keeps you thinking. It keeps you thinking.
The thing about it, I think the difference between this season and probably even last season is the rotation of the front 3 or 4 or 5 is so much more fluid than it was even last season, right? Where we all kind of relied on Kevin De Bruyne to pull out the magic. I think this year everybody's pulling their weight, and the rotation is immense.
Aren't mixing as much as well,
right?
Which is a point.
One thing I did yesterday, at night before I go to bed late, I was watching the Pep's first season, the 16-17 season. Watching how the players were playing and thinking about what we're doing now, there's a massive difference, man. Massive difference.
Also, the players they were in, I think you had Zabaleta, Bakary, Sanya, players who were in the late 30s, and I think you noticed then, and I think you had Jesus Navas on the right, and you haven't got a lot of energy and a lot of speed after, and I don't think you can be playing players like that when you haven't got a lot of energy on the wide positions.
My point is that, so you have Carlo, and so what I want you to do is in 2 or 3 years' time, when you could go back and look at the games that Everton were playing when Carlo first got in, and look at where you are in 2 or 3 years' time, you'll see a massive difference. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that when I looked at the games in 16-17, and now I can see what the players were trying to do with the instruction that Pep had given them, because now I can see it happening in real time, and I understand what they're doing. Back then, they struggled a little bit because they couldn't really understand that position of play and the fluid motion and the movement. But to see it today, today is like, wow, so this is what he was teaching them back then that I can see now. So it's that evolution. As a football fan, I don't just watch games and say, oh, this is bad or awful. I look at the whole picture. I try to enjoy the whole event itself. I love the game. I love the Premier League, Champions League, even European soccer, football. And it's just, for me, it's just an education, because I try to take those things and take them to my kids, and I'm teaching them to play football. I have 2 teams I coach,
Yeah.
so it's part of the education for me. But let's quickly talk about what areas do you think Everton can hurt City tomorrow? What areas do you think you can hurt us?
That's like a question, you know, you're just so perfect at the moment, absolutely perfect. But again, I think it's not through the middle, because I think Ruben Dias is brilliant. But I think certainly is down the flank. I think through the creativity of Luca Digne and through the creativity, in my opinion, of James can alternate with Iwobi. We can certainly cause you problems on the wing through the wings. And the reason I believe that is because if Cancelo moves up, which he does a lot, I can see Walker playing, because I know Cancelo's better and he's better in that system. But I think when you've got someone as good as Digne, I think Digne, for me, will find them crosses, because he does it out of anywhere, out of dust, he can do it. And I think if you got Cancelo moving into midfield, that's a massive gap to leave. And them overlapping runs as well from Richarlison can be so dangerous. So I think it'll be on the wings. But again, you know, let's not act like we can't hit you through the middle, because James can pick a pass from literally. I've seen it this year. He did it against, I know it's Sheffield, but he did it against Sheffield Wednesday, and he did it against Tottenham in the league when we beat them 1-0 early on in the season. He just finds passes from anything, and it's brilliant. Is the way he is on the ball is just absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. There's a joke that Everton fans have about him where they say sex on legs. He's absolutely brilliant. He absolutely is.
I always backed him from day one. I was one of the few people who backed him. I mean, there's some City fans were saying he's finished, his legs are gone, and I argued with them and said, no, this guy's class. All he needs is his coach who can look after him, which is Ancelotti. So I wasn't. It doesn't surprise me at all. I think where you can hurt us, for me, I think it would be corners. I think with Mina and Keane. Mina is a beast when it comes in the air. So I think that's an area in which you have some big boys who can have Godfrey, Mina, and Keane. You guys can hurt us on the corners. I think that would be something that the team has to prepare for and try to.
I also think a good thing is I think Sterling's one of them players where, as good as he is, I think he kind of flows with the way the game's going, and I think we saw it. And I don't want to, you know, I knew I absolutely destroyed Trent this year, but if you look back to the game, I think I think it wasn't Anfield, sorry. Yeah, it was at Anfield. Joe Gomez played it right back that game. And Joe Gomez kept Sterling and kept tackling Sterling. And I think he flows with the game. And I think if he keeps getting tackled and losing the ball, he goes out the game. He did it against United when Aaron Wan-Bissaka just absolutely had him everywhere, didn't he? And he just couldn't get past him. And I think Ben Godfrey is one of the only players that probably matches him with speed. I don't know if you've seen the clip of him against Arsenal. It's crazy. He's absolutely so fast.
To your point, Carl, there's a reason why, if you notice, the game against Tottenham, Sterling started off on the left-hand side, and he was playing against the Tottenham, the right back. It wasn't Aurier, another right back. He struggled. He struggled for like 15 minutes, then he switched to the right-hand side. Yeah. Against Davison, he had joy. So it's good.
As well, I think another thing is, I think we've got to be very physical in this game. And I think, you know, we played against Fulham, and I think we were a bit tired, a bit lethargic, but it's no excuse. You know, you're Premier League athletes, you're getting paid hundreds of thousands a week, aren't you? So you're supposed to go on and perform. And we didn't even make a good account of ourselves. Like, we just let them attack us, which we can't do against you. And I think if Dom was here, I think I'd be a bit more confident, because I know your defenders are brilliant, but I don't really care what centre back it is. I think Dom beats most of them when it comes to in the air. He's absolutely amazing in the air. He's so good, and I think that he's someone that can make a goal out of nothing. Where I think we've got to kind of try and attack you down the flank, where obviously you've not really got natural fullbacks, have you?
Right.
Which is so crucial. And also Laporte, I think something that you could do is try and drag Laporte out, which he doesn't normally do. Laporte, he's very compact, very composed. But I think if we can drag Laporte out, it's a football is what a lot of people don't realise is if you drag a fullback out, then the centre back's got to try and cover 2 positions, which leaves it leaves such a gap in the back line. Which if we exploit that, then we could. But again, you're hoping for a City blunder from 2 of the best centre backs in the league, John Stones and Ruben Dias, which just isn't going to happen, unfortunately.
It's a tough game, but I think the other thing too is the game itself is midweek. You know, the City need to win, not necessarily. Do Everton really need to lose? Not necessarily. They could shake hands and walk away with a point each. But, you know, we never know. But Charlie Everett says, thanks for teaching me about American football. Yeah, so Charlie and I were on the Super Bowl feed, and I was talking to him, walking him through the different plays and different games. Addy says, Everton's corners scare me. Yeah, that's why I mentioned that, Addy, that they scare me too. Because Mina is good in the air. He's good in the air. So is Keane. So
Not just that as well. think all Everton fans have got a dream, haven't we? Of the 97th minute, the time added on somehow, and Ben Godfrey flies in and scores it. I think we all want that against Liverpool, but again, it's such a good. I think it's such a great game because there's no anger, there's nothing between the two managers. The two managers respect each other so much, and they've been managers for so long, and it's just a great game. And I think this is a game to show. I know we lost to Fulham, but for me, this is a game to show if we're ready for that top four. I think if we go out there and make an account, even if we lose, even if we get beat, but if we make an account of ourselves and give you the right game, and it proves that we haven't slipped away, and we're not going to go into this bad form, we're still there to compete, and we're still there to prove that we are good enough for top four or top six. I think that we've got to prove ourselves. We can't show you any respect, which I know is a hard thing to do because of how good your team is. But if we show you respect, then you'll batter us. Too many teams show the big teams respect. If you don't show the big teams respect, a lot of them, that's the way to beat them. Don't show them any credit. Don't show them any respect. Be physical. Be horrible. Be a nasty place for them to go, and then you can get the points.
Yeah, be difficult to beat. So let's wrap up with score predictions. What do you think the score is going to be? I hate score predictions because you just never know.
Exactly. I think it'll be a close game. I think we'll have our moments. I think you'll have your moments. But I think it'll be. Do you know what? I'm going for a 3-2 Man City win. I think I'll just get it up. Our last 5 games have been 5 losses to City, and there's been 3 3-1s in there. But I think it'll be a 3-2. I think we'll score. I think you'll score first through. I don't know who, but I think you'll go 1-0 up, and I think we'll make it 1-1. I think you'll make it 3-1 up, and then I think we'll score late on in the game. And I think it'll be one of them games where we just give you a good goal, but I think the quality is it's too much right now. You said I think City are that team. Once you get that momentum, that's something you never got last year. It was always 2 wins, stop, 2 wins, stop, a win, a stop, a win, a loss, draw. I think now you've got that momentum, and you're too hard to beat at the moment, aren't you?
Well, I think it's going to be a very difficult game. I think it's going to be either a 1-1 draw or a 1-0 win for City.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be 3-0 or 2-0 or I think there's too much respect and there's too much tactical nous from Ancelotti to allow that to happen. I think it's going to be a close, tight game. Probably either a point, 1-1, or to be a 1-0 to City.
I hope so. It's a 1-1.
That's what I think. And then Charlie Everett says 2-0 comfortable. Sorry, I don't think it's going to be comfortable, Charlie. I think it's going to be a tough ground to go to.
I think you say it's tough ground to go to, but there's a joke on Twitter where it says Everton away, and it's the prime Barcelona team from 2008 to 2012, and it says Everton at home, and it's Liverpool. So that at home, they're absolutely awful this year. I think not many teams are good at home. I think we saw it when the Bundesliga returned last season. A lot of teams were struggling at home. Dortmund didn't really win that much. Bayern didn't even win that much because I think a lot of people don't understand the home fans. Certainly for us, such a positive because how good our fans are, and we are missing them. And I think when we're away from home, we beat Leicester away, we beat Tottenham away, we beat some good teams away. Leeds, for me, are one of the best teams in the league attacking wise. Absolutely brilliant. Leeds, beat them away from home. So we beat some good teams away. We beat Wolves away from home. It's just about consistency, and I think if you look at our record as well, as we've lost to a team that we should be beating. We lost to Newcastle, came back against Wolves and Leeds. We lost to West Ham. We came back. So it's just we need to be consistent, and if we beat you, then I'll be confident for the Liverpool game. I said this, and it's mad. I'm more confident playing City and Liverpool than I am playing Fulham because I know what we're like. With that, it's just classic Everton. We can beat the big teams, but lose to all the small. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but to the teams that aren't.
It's well, I mean, if you look at your record against Liverpool at home at Goodison Park, you haven't lost in a couple of years.
2017 was the last time we lost at Goodison.
Yeah, I remember. I keep notes. I watch all the games, and I remember that you haven't lost. So it's never a foregone conclusion when Everton play the big teams because they step up their game. That's why I think it's going to be a very, very tight game tomorrow, and we shall see. But just really quickly, looking forward to the derby on Sunday. So it's Sunday or Saturday?
It's Saturday. Sorry, Saturday.
You think you guys can pull it off there since 1999? You haven't won there. You think it's time that you break this run?
For me, definitely. I think you look at a lot of Everton fans are nervous, but look, I'm not going to overreact. We lost the game, it happens. You know what I mean? It's transition season, and I've seen some absolute. I don't really call people idiots for their opinions, but I've seen some absolute idiots come out and question Carlo and say he's not good enough. You can't say that. For me, he's the second best manager in the world, if not up there with Pep. With the trophies he's won, his achievements are absolutely sensational, and I think you look at it. It's such a tough game, and I think you look at Liverpool. I think to City, you offer a lot more, don't you? You're a bit, you're just so more dangerous, and you're on that run where you look at them, you dismantled them, absolutely dismantled them. Leicester played them off the park. Brighton beat them. Burnley beat them. For me, you look at our away form, the teams we beat. Why can't we beat them? That's what I say. Why can't we have a go? If we have a go like we did, and Dom's back as well. We have a go. We can beat them. We can beat them. There's nothing to fear. For me, that fear factor is gone with Liverpool. They're not what they were. They're not what they were last year. You can bully Liverpool. City bullied them. Brighton bullied them. Burnley showed them no fear. We need to stop showing. Stop showing them fear.
I think for the Spurs, I think you have to have the perfect game against them. I think if you have the perfect game against them, like the way you guys can play, perfect game, like the game against Tottenham at the beginning of the season, I think you could win. And if you get 6 points in the next two games, you're top four, definitely, in my opinion.
I think if we beat you, then we beat Liverpool. Jesus, the title runs back. No, I'm joking. But it'd be sensational, wouldn't it? It'd be crazy. But the problem is, it's all good beating the big teams, but then you've got to do it again. And I keep going over this point, but it's classic Everton. It's typical top four, top seven. You've got to be consistent. And I think, for me, the top four's opening up again, because I think United are dropping points and they're starting to fall off. It looks like I said, and you said it, didn't you? They can't really keep up with that pace of the title race. Liverpool.
Well, you've beaten more top six sides than United have.
Yeah, we actually beat.
And Chelsea have.
United haven't beat a top six side after this season.
No, home or away.
No, I you know what? I hated United, I did, but then I think when you watch them, I think for me, everyone goes on about Bruno, but for me, it's without Pogba, they do not look the same side without Pogba.
No, they don't. He's good. I don't care what people say. That kid is good. Pogba
he is. He just needs to, again, you look at, if he's playing more defensive, and you can't play a player like him defensive. He can run the midfield. You don't play him defensive. I just want to, I don't know how long we have, but I just want to use a quick point, and it's,
go ahead.
You
have a minute left.
I think you look at City this season. You've had, earlier on in the season, we had some poor results, but again, it's always that one, isn't it? Good Everton, we beat you 4-0. Was the last time we beat you? At Goodison Park was a 4-0.
I remember that game. Lookman,
Lukaku, Morales, and Tom Davis.
Davis, yeah.
Yeah. I think anyone can beat anyone. That's the joy of the Premier League. But again, it's that momentum that he's on. You're on that momentum, and I just want to say, if it comes down to you or Liverpool, it's City that I wanted to win it any day. I think he'll win the league by, I think, 20 points.
Well, I do want Everton to get European football. I think you guys have, you're a big club. You have the legacy. I've always liked, have a soft spot for Everton. I mentioned it earlier on.
Can we just because we've got the FA Cup game as well. So
yes.
What are your opinions on that before we go?
Who knows? I mean, that's what, March, end of March.
Start of March 2nd.
It all depends on our champions, what happens in the Champions League, who we draw in the quarterfinals. If we get there, if it's close, who knows? It depends on form, fitness, injuries. There's so much that's going on.
I can see Carlo, and I know it's a mad one, but I can see Carlo going, because I think Carlo spoke about how he wants a cup because we want the cup, and a lot of people were nervous, and it's like the cup form is not even a thing in a cup game. Form is absolutely nothing in a cup game. Arsenal went to the Wembley and absolutely played you off the park last year, and Chelsea. So form's not a thing. And for me, if we beat City, then for me, why aren't we the favourites if we beat City in the cup? Because United are big. I think we take that off you. But again, I think City are going to do the certain the win 3 trophies.
I mean, for me, if you beat us in the cup, you have to win it. Don't let United win it, or don't let Chelsea win it. For me, I just want to say how disrespectful that fan base is for me. The fact of saying Ollie out, that the team they've got, and he's got them to second, is an absolutely brilliant achievement for me. But it's the players they have as well. Absolutely. Okay. Well, this has been great, Carl. Really enjoyed talking to you about the preview for tomorrow's game, Everton versus City. Again, as I mentioned, I respect Everton a lot. I think they're a great club, great fans. Always had a soft spot for them. Love the coach tremendously, and wish you guys the best tomorrow, Cal. Any other final thoughts before we sign off?
Let me just thanks for having me on. And yeah, again, like I said, I just want to reiterate my point. If it comes down to you or United or Liverpool, it's City I'd prefer to win the league. And yeah, I just want to again for Pep. It's kind of been it's been impressive to see how he's built himself back up and the hunger that's back in him. I think it's brilliant to watch.
Fantastic. Okay, folks, until next time, the next show we'll do is for the Champions League review next Monday for the second half of the Champions League game. So the City, Mönchengladbach, Chelsea versus Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich versus Lazio, and there's one other team, I can't remember who it is. We'll be doing that review real quick. Again, same format, very quick, rapid, and we'll talk about all those things with our good friends. Maybe Carl can join us then. We'll see how it goes. But till next time, thank you very much and stay safe. Peace out.